Incorporated is not responsible for the validity or accuracy of information presented on this program. Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Norman Shealy and Dr. Sergey Leo Shealy-Sorin. Get the health answers you need from the creator of holistic medicine and the 2020 Holistic Doctor of the Year. To be a part of today's show, call 417-447-1777. Wellness Wednesday. Now, here are your hosts, Dr. Norman Shealy and Dr. Sergey Leo Shealy-Sorin.
And hello. Actually, I just realized something. We normally have headphones on. But the first part of the radio is all about the topic. So let's do that. We'll continue talking. Robin, if you can get us a couple of headsets as we go along so we can take questions in the second part of the radio show. Again, we're not going to worry about it right now. We're just going to go right into it. And I am honored. I truly am honored to have the most wonderful co-hosts with me today, or I should say co-hosting with Dr. Norm Shealy, the founding father of holistic medicine. And of course, we have Rachel, who is here, who is a holistic health coach, real holistic doc health coach. And she's one of the first and one of the finest. And so we'll have her talk about her life and what she does and how she does it. But I want to start by saying a very simple thing. If you ever have lived in a house, or if you ever build a house, foundation. You've got to have a foundation. If you do not have a foundation, doesn't matter how fancy and how many floors up you are, the whole structure is going to crumble down. It's going to be shaky. It's going to be all sorts of maintenance required all the time, unless the foundation is solid. And what is the foundation? Foundation is lifestyle, stress management, and absolute essential nutrition, including supplements. But let's just get right into it and let's talk about the foundation. We have another one thing I want to say is in our program, there's about 85% success ratio so far over the 5 decades. Over 36,000, it's a lot more now, successful outcomes. But why is it only 85% success rate when we're talking about holism, spirit, soul, mind, body, and what should work 100% of the time? What happened to the 15% who have failed? This is part of the discussion that we're going to have right now. So let's go right into it. Rachel,
well,
let's talk about you.
Okay.
Who are you?
I am a board-certified nutrition coach. I have taught nutrition classes at the college level, and I'm currently a doctoral candidate for a degree in integrative healthcare with an emphasis in clinical nutrition. So coaching people to health and wellness I am in like the space of all spaces.
Yes, you are. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And thanks.
Could not have better mentors.
Good to have you. Yeah. Let's go ahead and start. Okay. So in our practice, I used to do this by myself until you came in, and now we both do this work together. So let's talk about what you do. Let's talk about coaching. Okay. What does it mean?
Well, so let's go back to your foundation. Yes. So it's really important to build a foundation, but some people don't even know they need the step. You got to start the foundation. And so you have to break it down into those little tiny baby steps so you can get the foundation in place. And that's where I come in, because Dr. Sorin is a very big picture. He can see the whole thing and he knows what it's going to look like. And I come in and help people break down the details so they can do the day-to-day that will create that big picture and overall health.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly it. I do want to say that Dr. Shealy and myself have always been a big picture people, but we have always needed to have people with enough detail and detail orientation. In other words, the devil's in the detail. I can outline the entire program. This is how much exercise, this is how much what nutrition, and this is what kind of ratios. But unless you spell it out, and somebody's, they got to change their everything routine. So please.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you lay out all the things, and what happens is people walk away overwhelmed because it's all the things, and they go in with the mindset very often that I must now go do all the things, and if they don't do all of them, then they feel like they have failed. Versus if we start one thing, let's start the one thing, build to the next thing. By the end of the year or 2 years, or sometimes it's 5 years, it's whatever it takes, right, Dr. Shealy? Then we can have the whole system in place. And so people need to know that starting small is okay. And a lot of that comes down to self-talk, I think. And so that was something.
Yeah, let's talk about self-talk.
Okay. Yeah. So there are some things that sabotage our plans and our goals And it's how we think and how we talk to ourselves. And there are there are 3 really, I believe, key phrases that if we are saying them to ourselves, we are not helping ourselves. The first phrase is TOO, like TOO. A lot of people will have the self-talk of, I am too tired, or I am too busy, or I am, insert whatever it is there. So if we can figure out a way to replace that word, that's really helpful. The other word is not enough. So I don't have enough time in the day, or, just kind of figuring out an excuse versus what feels good and what can I do. And the last phrase is I want. So sometimes we say I want instead of I am, I do, replacing it with an action word, because I want is very vague and nebulous, and it doesn't give us a clearly defined day-to-day action step.
Like, for example, I want to take over the world.
Yes. Or actually, here's a really great example. The other day, Dr. Sorin and I were talking, and he said, I'm going to throw you under the bus for just
Please
a
do.
second. He said,
and by the way, Rachel is my personal coach. And by the way, I give you full permission to expose everything.
Okay.
Right today.
We'll brag on you a little bit too, but right now I'm going to throw you under the bus.
No, go ahead, please.
The other day we were discussing, and he said, I want to be more athletic.
Yes.
What does that mean? There are so many different kinds of athletes. There are so many different ways to be athletic. You really have to sit down and think about what exactly do you want. And so a lot of people, that could be, I want to be able to get on the floor and play with my grandkids. I want to be a mile pain-free. I want to wake up in the morning feeling like I can do things. I mean, you have to start getting really specific. So that way, that self-talk, you can follow the actionable steps.
In other words, here's the goal, here's the mark. Are we there? Are we not there? Are we beyond it? Are we behind it? Are we around it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's brilliant. And actually that's good. And we had you have been working with me personally now for, it seems like a lifetime, but
well, and people should know this. It's been about 8 months,
right?
And we have been going, I call it low and slow. We've been going low and slow.
And that's been when Rachel first said that to me, it drove me absolutely nuts.
Not his style.
I've never gone slow, and it's always been full speed ahead. But please,
yeah. So when we first started working together, somewhere around January. And you know what? I'm going to brag on you here, because we were it was kind of inconsistent. And now here we are in September, and you have been consistent.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been great. But it's been a slow process. We've only been doing 2 days a week. And I think that's something else people need to know is you can start somewhere. Starting anywhere is better than not starting. So, go ahead.
And I get to throw in I do martial arts as well. So, once a week, I'm also in martial arts. And then other times, for example, on the weekend, I usually go somewhere. I go for a walk. It's not just a passive walk. I stretch. I do all kinds of activity. If I can sit down, a couple of sit-ups, push-ups. The basics, just out in nature. I love nature. And or sometimes go for a hike, 2-3 hour hike, and just literally get lost in the woods. One of my favorite places is there is a place where I work in the emergency room. So every Saturday, I just take a day off. This is my day. If I can do something, great, I will. But this is my day. And so it ends up being more than 2 days. But at the very least, I know that I have formal exercise and the person literally showing up at my doorstep without fail at it's usually 6:30 in the morning or 6:15.
Yeah. Well, and that's just it. It's the getting started process, because we started with 2 days a week, and now you, of your own volition, have upped it because you're feeling good, you're seeing results. When we started, it was 2 days a week, like I said, but from that, we have gone, I'm going to disclose some of your numbers. Okay.
Please,
when we started, he was around hovering at that 190 mark, and now he's about 179, and we've gone from 22% body fat to 19% body fat. So people need to know that just getting started is the most important thing. And then take the pressure off yourself. I don't have enough time. So if you don't have enough, you need to rephrase. Instead of saying, I don't have enough, say, I will only walk for 5 minutes. I will only get outside for 5 minutes. And then maybe you'll find you have more time as you start the process. And as you start enjoying the process, you will find more time.
And it's interesting on the days that we don't work out together. In other words, on my off day, so to speak, I have this thing called 7-minute exercise. Now it's 7 minutes, but it turns into a lot more than that because I start with 7 minutes and it makes me feel so good. I just one set. Okay, I think I'm gonna do it again. So it usually ends up being 3 sets instead of one, and it's 30 minutes instead.
But see, you just told yourself, you just said 7 minutes,
Yes.
and it went to 21 minutes. And Lindy, too, his
Yes.
beautiful wife, who also works out with us in the morning, she has started adding in her walks and all of her other things, and she's had some really, I mean, she looks great. She looks amazing.
Dr. Shealy, let's talk about your exercise plan. I mean, everybody knows that everyone knows you've been doing good, but yeah.
Well, I start the morning with actually 10 minutes, and then another 10 minutes, and I do the vibe machine, and it's moderate activity, but it's movement. Then, at least 7 days a week, I garden, and it's a fairly vigorous garden, for at least an hour a day, and I'm pretty tired by the finish.
And so let's talk about the rest of the lifestyle because actually, Rachel, I don't know if you remember, but Dr. Shealy has made a huge turnaround. If we and for all the audience out there, and I believe a huge part of that is first of all decision to get back, to recover, to regain your health, your wellness, but also the fact that you've never given up on the lifestyle. Because when some people when they go through challenges, they literally fall off the wagon and they stop. You never stopped. You kept on going. But there is something behind that, and I want to say this. We talk about 3-month mark for habits, and that's what it takes, and then we talk about a 12-month mark, 1 year mark to create a lifestyle. And at 50 plus years, what am I saying? At almost 90 years of healthy, amazing habits, Dr. Shealy is not going to stop, even if he's not feeling well.
His foundation is way strong.
Oh, God. Yes, that's what I wish for everyone, to have a foundation like Dr. Shealy's.
He's definitely has that all in place.
And I do want to actually, now that we have an opportunity to mend some of our ways, so to speak, I do want to go back over something. And we've said this quite a long time. I want to not so much mend, but clarify. Dr. Shealy has always said only 2.3% or so of people have all the essential health habits. And that includes nutrition, activity, sleep, rest, body mass index, and all the rest do not. But there is degrees. It's not just the black and white, is it? I mean, there is some people need to improve their sleep. They do everything else really well. Some people need to improve exercise. Some people need to work on the whole thing. But if
they need to know not to work on the whole thing all at once.
All at once,
That's the key. The key is small baby steps are okay. And I know people get really gung-ho and they just want to go right into it. But it's just a lot of times it's a recipe for them shutting down.
And you've run marathons.
I have run at least 15 full marathons.
Oh, God.
Yes.
I've run a half marathon. That was actually.
I've run some of those too.
Oh yeah. To you, it's a piece of cake. To me, that was a major accomplishment.
No, it is a major accomplishment. I'm running at any distance. Just be proud. Yes.
Oh God, yeah. But one thing that I learned and I started training, I almost couldn't train for a while because I kept overdoing it.
Yeah.
And then I learned you really got to pace yourself.
Marathon training is the best way to learn to pace yourself. And one of my philosophies is, and I think I'm slowly instilling it in Dr. Sorin, is if we go slow, we can always come back the next day. So there's always the next day. If we overdo it, then you're sidelined. And so it's a ticket to be easy on yourself. Do the things, but do them at the pace that works for you.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about Dr. Shealy. Let's take some time to reflect on the original question where we started. In the Shealy-Sorin system, holistic approach to the individual, we do have an overwhelming 85% success rate.
Yes.
Let's talk about the 15% that don't.
Well, basically, they set it out. They just take advantage of themselves, and they'll schedule themselves properly. And, well, bull.
Thank you. Can always count on the Sagittarian nature of Dr. Shealy to come out with the truth and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Actually, I'd like to say something. You know, the word BS, right? In the medical terminology, it means vowel sounds. Other people use it as BS. It also stands for something else. And a good friend of mine, reach out as well to dear friend Lenka in Florida, is BS, belief system. Most people's belief systems are truly BS, and this is the control center. So, Rachel, what is your toughest challenge? Physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual when you work with people?
That it depends on the person. A lot of times coming to the clinic, they come to this place because they're already kind of in touch with the spiritual piece a little bit. And so they know. And so then it's a lot of times the physical that is kind of where people struggle, I think. Yeah.
Where have you seen clients succeed and fail?
Well, I see success when a client falls off the wagon, because people do. It's what happens. Life happens. But when you get back on and you don't beat yourself up, and here's the biggest thing, if you make a commitment, you make a commitment to yourself, and you need to honor the commitment to yourself. So you need to treat yourself just like you would a friend who said, I'll be there at 5 a.m. and we're going to go run or work out or whatever. If you have said you're going to do that, don't let yourself down. I mean, you can't lie to yourself like that. You have to commit to yourself. And one of the other things is that a lot of times people get ruled by feelings. So if I wake up at 4 a.m. and I know I've had this many times, I need to go run 20 miles. Well, what's the one thing I don't want to do today? I don't want to run 20 miles. It's the one thing I don't. What do I not feel like doing? I do not feel like doing that. But I have to say, if I make decisions in my life based off how I feel, I would never do it. I have to make it off the honor and the commitment that I have made to myself. So you get up and you do it anyway, and then you feel good.
And actually, the one thing that comes to mind is who is responsible for me?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Can Rachel? Let me ask you a question. Rachel is my coach. She's walked with me along the way. If I checked out along the way, how much can she do?
Nothing. And you learn that early on as a coach, where you have to let it go, because you can't be tied to the results. The only person that can be tied to the results is the one that wants them. Well, we all want them, but the one that will make them happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's follow through.
It is follow through.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Shealy, you've been doing this for over 60 years now. How much of Shealy-Sorin wellness, eventually Shealy-Sorin wellness, is coaching and guidance and lifestyle and the foundation? What percentage would you say that of the whole health?
80%.
Oh, wow. That's exactly. Mm-hmm. So literally the rest of it is 20%, and that's where people focus their energy, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the other 20%. Where do people spend most of their energy? I'll start with chronic illness. Chronic illness takes a lot of energy, a lot of time.
Well, waste of time.
Waste of time. Why? Because it's not necessary. Chronic illness, chronic disease is not necessary. And this goes back to the original formula, and Dr. Shealy has brought it out, has re-brought it out, I should say, over 60 years ago now. And that's basically spirit, soul, mind, body, the original foundation of humanity. And if we don't follow that, guess what? If you build a house without a foundation, the results you're going to get are going to be consistent, expected.
Well, through your years, I have varied what I do. We can horseback ride, play sports of various kinds, and it's always active. It's the top of my list is activity. Is not resting, taking it easy, training.
I remember even when you were in a critical point, and you did have a couple of critical points within this year, and you, by the way, I'm going to say this once again, Dad, you look amazing. However, whatever, keep on going, please.
Well, you keep on keeping on.
Yeah. Well, and don't you think, I mean, we were designed to move. That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, movement, any movement is worthwhile. Exactly.
And people need to remember that. So they think, if I didn't go to the gym and do a workout, being outside, moving around still has value. It's worth it. Yeah.
And the other thing that I'm going to jump in here is being a doctor, being an emergency room physician is fairly sedentary job. I'm going to make an admittance. There are windows and there are times when I am running from one place to the other. I got blood all over me. I mean, there's adrenaline and stuff all over, but that's not usually forever. That lasts for maybe half an hour or less, and then it's back to, okay, I'm sitting back on a chair and I'm typing, and or I'm looking at computers, or I'm scratching my head about something that's unusual, or making phone calls, so on and so forth. The thing is, it's a sedentary job, and but I've realized I figured out how to make it less sedentary. For example, if I'm getting up, we got 2 minutes, by the way, so we'll close this up. There's always a way in any situation. For example, when I'm near the computer, what stops me from getting up and stretching every let's say, what a certain time interval? What stops me from just basically sitting, leaning against the wall in a squat position, and that's basically a quad stretch, a quad workout. There's no. It's very easy to just do a couple of push-ups, sit-ups, or just a couple of very basic deep breaths, or my favorites, if I'm like literally sitting in a chair, contraction, relaxation. Contract the whole body, about 30 seconds or so, relax, repeat. Again, just do it a couple of times, you get the blood flow going. I'm not saying it's a workout, but it's
movement.
It's movement.
And movement matters. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the bottom line, why do people fail? Why do people succeed? Very simple. Let's summarize it. Dr. Shealy, your one sentence answer to why people fail and succeed. We'll have a panel here. Why do you think people fail in health and in lifestyle?
Because it's easier.
It's easier. And the advice is
keep active.
Keep active. Rachel?
I think self-talk. I think what we have going on, how we talk to ourselves, manifests in how we behave.
And I'm going to say commitment. Well, this is the control. This is the center. Make a decision, follow through. Nothing's going to stop you. How close are we?
15 seconds.
15 seconds. So we're going to go to a break. We're going to keep talking. And at some point, Robin, I'll ask us to kind of figure out where the headphones are. So we'll get those on so we can answer questions in the second half of the radio program. Rachel is here with us. There after the radio break, 417-447. Actually, what was that number? Okay. Oh, no, 417-447.
1777.
That's it. That's the number to call us. Ask Dr. Shealy, myself, Rachel, any questions. Doesn't have to be lifestyle. Doesn't have to be, could be anything. And we'll go to break when... Yep. All right, let's get us some headphones.
Want
and
me
let's
to grab those, or I can grab them?
Yeah, that'd be great.
A lot can happen in a day. Every weekday afternoon on 92.3 and AM 1340 KICK. The right voice for Springfield.
Primary Course study. The water shortage in Jackson, Mississippi is reaching critical levels as the treatment facility undergoes repairs.
Jackson neighbors showing up to water tankers with buckets, tubs, jars, trying to bring back water for use at home. Crews work to remove sludge and debris from one of the 2 water treatment plants. Teams working around the clock to bring operations back to somewhat normal conditions. The relief effort involving the National Guard expected to continue until further notice.
Fox Weather's Will Nunley. Meanwhile, schools are facing a major shortage of teachers. White House Press Secretary Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre announcing new federal initiatives to combat the problem.
The new efforts include commitments from leading job platforms such as ZipRecruiter, Indeed, and Handshake to make it easier for Americans to find teaching opportunities.
Some districts are shortening the school week, while others are hiring volunteers. America is listening to Fox News.
Fox News is brought to you by Fremont Hills Country Club.
I've discovered a place that is family friendly, a great value with good food, friends, and golf, swimming, tennis, and pickleball. Fremont Hills Country Club. There is no initiation fee and a variety of memberships are available.
Okay.
How much time do we have?
About 3 minutes.
About 3 minutes. That's a good time to do something. Yeah.
Okay.
So we are back on. We got about 3 minutes until the break is over. And unless there's anything that each of us wants to say here on the topic or otherwise, anything specific on the mind? Or we can just see if there's any questions, checking in with who is here with us or saying hello.
Hello's from...
I think it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have hellos from New York.
Wonderful. From New York.
Reno,
Oh, by the way,
Nevada.
hi, Mom. My mom is in New York.
Reno, Nevada, Ohio.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And one question about, can you reverse type 2 diabetes?
Yes. This is, and the answer on that is it's a metabolic condition together with hypertension and cholesterol. If you people who have created metabolic syndrome can uncreate it, and that's the simple answer on that. Change your lifestyle, change your patterns.
Well, I was going to say, and that is actually what I'm doing my doctoral research on, is reversing metabolic syndrome. So
let's we'll talk now, and we'll talk after when we're on the break. But let's make an announcement. Let's this is wonderful, actually.
Okay. So my doctoral research, I'm actually looking for study participants. If we have any willing guinea pigs out there, it really involves not too much. Watching some videos. It would also require a once a month blood draw for 3 months, but it is on educating the patient on how they can reverse metabolic syndrome and kind of seeing what the results are once we have given them all the education about it.
And this is really wonderful because the program truly is in the holism, spirit, soul, mind, body. And this is what we're following. Rachel is absolutely fantastic at getting at all those details. So, for example, my personal example, I kept getting stuck at a certain thing. In other words, one little detail, and I wouldn't have recognized it unless the conversation literally brought it out. And this is the honesty about it, because what Rachel does is she literally comes out and she asks me, "How come what's going on?" And the answer is,
I don't cut him any slack.
No, and the answer is it's very simple. Either I'm there or I'm not. So if I'm not there, question is, why am I not there? And sometimes it's in my control, sometimes it's not. But I have to take responsibility and accountability for what I'm doing or not doing, and start learning about other things.
Right, absolutely.
So how many people are you looking for the research?
So, ideally, I would like as many as possible. If we could get 40, that would be amazing. If we end up with 10, I have been told that's okay.
Wonderful. We'll make this announcement again. I think that's worthwhile.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now back to Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Norman Shealy and Dr. Sergey Leo Shealy-Sorin.
Hello, and welcome back to Wellness Wednesdays with the original founder of holistic medicine, Dr. Norm Shealy himself. And of course, we have the one and only Rachel, who is our amazing, real holistic doc, life and health coach. Actually, so the one thing that we're talking about during the break, and let's recap as well for people listening on the radio, is there is an opportunity to take advantage of this of this information personally. Rachel, you got a research project.
Okay, yeah. So during the break, we had someone ask about reversing type 2 diabetes, and Dr. Sorin said it could be done. What I am doing for my doctoral research is, and this is kind of funny because we always talk about metabolic syndrome being a little bit pregnant with the diabetes versus not having. But what the research is we're going to get in front of the full-blown development of type 2 diabetes, hopefully through education. So I'm creating an online program that will tell people what they need to do, the steps they need to take, video form, so that they can put their health in their control. And then we will measure their metrics pre and post. So it really doesn't involve a lot other than being willing to get labs once a month for 3 months and then watch the videos. Now, what my hope is that the videos will inspire people to make changes, but that's what we'll see once we do the research.
I do want to say this kind of research, because we don't do the kind of research that pharmaceutical companies generally do. We're not here to give a pill or a substance and say, hey, this is your solution, nothing, no exercise or lifestyle change necessary. Have you ever seen those commercials?
Yeah.
I know that's
the easy pill that.
Yeah. This is proactive. This program will work if you work. And Rachel is a wonderful guide. I'm literally at my goal for desired goal now. It doesn't mean I can't set better goals now. I am. We just talked about it.
Different goals.
Exactly.
Yeah, different goals are good too. Once you achieve a goal, that's the milestone. Then we're human. We're gonna always want bigger, better, different, and that's part of the fun of life.
God, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so question, how do you contact for the study? Rachel, let's talk about it.
So they can call the clinic and just ask for me. So the clinic number is 417-351-5221. In fact, I may answer the phone. So, and then just let me know that you're interested. I'll get your name, I'll get your contact info, and when the study's ready, we'll reach out to you.
And just one thing to say on this that's important. This is from people with metabolic syndrome. Let's explain. Let's talk about what metabolic syndrome is, because not everyone is clear on that. Metabolic syndrome is literally like, a process gone wrong in the body, metabolism. It's literally your sugar metabolism or diabetes or lack of, or pre-diabetes, a little bit pregnant. Could I be a little bit pregnant? Maybe not. Yeah, well, you can identify with anything these days, but the other thing is blood pressure, cholesterol, the spare tire, the low energy, the brain fog. That's all metabolic syndrome. That means the metabolism in your body, the engine, that whole. I'm not a car person in that depth, but that whole thing is just not working. It's not processing, for God's sake. So here's the thing: what do? Look at what you've created. Look at what you contributed to. Take responsibility, take accountability, and take action, take steps, or continue to face the consequences.
And I want to defend that some people don't even know the action steps they're supposed to be taking. There's a lot with the internet now. There's so much information, and people don't know who to follow and who to believe. But these guys are good.
Thank you. Well, Dr. Shealy is a region. This is all based on Dr. Shealy's creation. This is the system that you brought up. Let's talk about that. So this all started back in the decades.
Well, the first step is action. If you don't take the first step, you don't get anywhere. So, basic. Organize your day.
And that's another thing that we need to talk about. And by the way, if we have a phone call, then we're happy to take phone calls. And let's go say hello. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, you're on the air.
Dr. Norman Shealy and Dr. Shealy-Sorin.
Hello.
Internationally acclaimed, the world-class naturopathic holistic professionals of the earth.
Yes. And how are you, sir?
I'm doing favored and blessed, and I'm so excited as to what we talk. This is your friend Bob Mundy.
So am I. We got a great things, baby. Well, yeah. Coming up.
This thing, and Miss Rachel, you're so exciting. That is so awesome.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mundy.
I have been blessed to entertain and work with the minister also to the veterans in this region and fundraising concerts and different things. And I want to proceed forward because there are so many, as much as 22 veterans a day taking their lives. And I know Dr. Norman Shealy and Dr. Sorin, you have the means to take care of that, where their emotional, psychological, and physical well-being can be changed to where they have some hope.
Exactly.
So I want to get started on putting this thing together. I'll be calling you. Oh, one last quick question.
You. Fully with you. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. About 7 weeks ago, my wife and my best little buddy puppy passed away.
Yes,
and the good Lord and faith and friends has helped a whole bunch. But on people that are having some problems with sleeping, what would be a combination of naturopathic things that would help with that?
Yes. The support and while the grieving process and everything else is taking place, and it's heavy. This is a heavy load, but you're doing this. You got this.
Right.
The PEMF #1 Delta mode, 0 to 3 cycles per second under the pillow, helps to put the body in that space of relaxation, reset, and allowing that stage 3 deep sleep. Second thing is there is let's talk about supplements, because that's also essential. Dr. Shealy, do you want to?
Well, melatonin.
Yes, thank you.
Time-release melatonin is the top of the list.
Right.
And
I appreciate the bunch, and I'm so excited about reaching out to these veterans, because we got 50,000 of them coming in a few more months, and there's no reason we can't touch many of those with what Rachel's doing, what both of you fine men, and really reach out to a whole bunch of them in helping them.
Actually, Bob, I'm thinking just a download just came in right now. And Rachel is doing a research project for about 40 people. If you have folks with metabolic syndrome who are, well, let's help them.
Well, praise God. God bless you, and I'm so excited. Let's go forward. Thank you much. Bye for now.
Good.
Take care.
Good on your face.
Thank you. Bob is a great guy. He's one of his great passions, and I just want to say thank you for what you do. He's been a great entertainer through the years, and a lot of great work in Branson and other ways. But his heart, his passion has always been in helping people, and this is what I'm hearing. And working with veterans, I am honored to be there on board with you. And yes, spirit, soul, mind, body. Especially for the folks, for the people who have given and are continue to give everything they got. It's about time to return the favor and do something good for them as much as possible.
Yes, as a mother of someone who is in the military right now, I totally respect that. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, which also happy birthday to my oldest, who's 25 today.
Oh, yes.
I thought I'd throw that in there.
And speaking of shout outs, and we got a phone call. Shout out to the office, the staff, Lindsay, you rock reception, great job. Of course, thanks for being.
I try to help out too a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, we'll come back. Let's take a phone call. Yeah. Hello. How are you? You're in the air. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
I would like to know if you can help me with my PEMF device.
PEMF device? Yes, of course.
Yes. The thing I'm wondering about is there a difference between recharging the device with or without the ring attached to it?
No connection, really. I mean, the ring is a very small, the whole thing is 0.2 gauss to begin with. So, I mean, it doesn't take much or charge much. So that's why it's a subtle energy system. And this is also where the subtlety of it comes in that the frequency on the first mode is 7.83 cycles per second, which is Schumann frequency, which is body regeneration. But Dr. Shealy's favorite is actually, you can talk about about that on your own, gamma, isn't it still?
Well, gamma is the optimal.
Yeah, and then there's delta for relaxation, but yeah, there's no difference if you charge the unit with or without the coil attached. There may be a slight sub% difference in the power outreach, but not really.
Okay, now my next question is, mine has stopped working unless it's plugged in.
Oh, if you have any questions about technicalities of it, please get back to either the store or the office, and let's figure out what's going on.
Okay, so that's not normal. I mean, I've used it for about a year, both wearing it in the daytime on battery and using it at night plugged in. But now I can't wear it during the day because it only works if it's, it'll work for 30 seconds. But it just goes off constantly.
Let's touch base, please, with, did you order it through the store or through the clinic?
The clinic, I think.
Oh, the clinic, yes. Get in touch with. Let's get in touch with the clinic and let's figure out what and how we can help you with this, please.
All right. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. Oh, by the way, since I have a little opportunity here, I do want to announce we do have the last summer sale, which ends tonight at midnight. 15% off orders on everything over $100 in our wellness store, realholisticdoc.com, which includes $240 off the amazing PEMF. That's what we just talked about. And the code is Holistic22. Holistic22 until midnight today. So I hope you take advantage of that opportunity. And another couple of things that I'd like to mention, if we have a few minutes, is appreciation for our friends and supporters at Spring Valley Natural Foods.
Yes, the place in Springfield. Service is top of the list. You walk in and 10,000 things, know how to find anything. But service is the top of the list. And of course, they carry all of our goodies. The premium magnesium lotion.
Yeah, bliss oils.
Yeah. All the goodies. It's a place where I shop, and you should too.
Another thing I was going to mention is that since we're talking about lifestyle and essentials, is people who don't get their veggies. Tart cherry juice concentrate.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the optimum place is
in the real grocery stores.
In the real grocery store.
Because here's the thing.
You'll find it in the real grocery store, and there's only one real grocery store in town. But it's Nature Blessed Tart Cherry Juice Concentrate.
Yeah, it's a favorite of both of ours.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We like it so much we overdose.
And that's the safe thing to overdose on.
Yeah.
The other thing I overdose on is Nitrostream when I need the energy.
Yes.
Okay, we got a call coming in. Hello.
Hello, is this the Dr. Show?
Yeah, Dr. Shealy and Dr. Shealy-Sorin, yeah.
Yes. Well, I want to ask a question.
Yep, yes, sir, go ahead.
Well, I had an upper GI last part of last month, and they spotted a mass on my pancreas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they sent me up to KU, Kansas City University, and they done another upper GI and they took a sample, and now they're wanting me back September the 16th to do it all over again.
What is the concern and what is the running diagnosis?
Well, I don't know all that fancy stuff, but they just said I had a mass on my pancreas. I've got my pH up above 7. I'm using plankton, and
I'm gonna jump in right now because you're talking about great things. You're saying like good stuff. pH is important. A lot of stuff is important, but I'm gonna get back to the real truth of the matter. Without knowing what the hell is going on with the whole thing, it's hard to make any decisions. It could be I'm just gonna throw it out there. You got to be proactive. You can't just let the doctors kind of just do their thing and kind of like and not know what's going on with your own body. I mean, this is it could be anything from cancer to a pseudocyst, which is again inflammation, irritation, and if it needs to be addressed, it needs to be addressed head on and powerfully. But you got to know the information. That's why I work with consultants of all sorts. I don't to blow off conventional medicine. I'm an emergency room doc, but this is where the specialists need to give you answers. And if you're not getting the answers from your doctors, then you really should make an appointment with somebody who cares enough to find out.
Well, that's what I think. All they want's the dollar.
Exactly.
So-
If you, I work with a number of people whom I guide and counsel when it comes to basically dealing with oncology, cancer, even if they have other providers. In other words, just to make sense of things. If you want a consultation and you want me to help you with figure this out, let's set up an appointment. Real Holistic Doc, 417-351-5221. There's a lot of options, but we got to know what's going on first.
You say 5221?
5221. Yeah.
5221.
Yes, sir.
And you're in Springfield?
We're in Springfield. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm in Carthage.
Oh, that's not.
When can I get in?
Please call the. Let's call the office, and actually, I'll ask Rachel to take a note because you'll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
if we can expedite.
Might get a hold of me.
You might get a hold of Rachel. Yes.
Well, what is your address?
2840 East Chestnut Expressway.
2840 East Chestnut. That ought to be pretty close to the Flying J, isn't it?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm a pilot car driver for oversized loads.
Oh, God bless. I'm actually on my. We got a few things to talk about when we get a chance. I'm a halfway there pilot. I got into 20 hours of flight school, and then I got to continue moving on because But yeah, it's great stuff. You look forward to seeing you.
Okay. Do I need an appointment?
Yeah, call the office 417-351. That's the number 5221. And I'll ask the young ladies to see if we can find an opening sooner. Maybe I can't guarantee, but let's do the best we can. It's a serious situation. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to put it off, but the one individual that I've been getting this plankton from, he says don't let them do it for at least 2 months after they found it to see if it's growing or not.
There's a risk.
This plankton will stop cancer in 60 days.
That's a wonderful idea, but there's a risk-benefit ratio that needs to be explored in many levels. So we need to sit and talk.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Great.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yep. All right. So, and this goes back to the concept, and thank you for this conversation. A lot of people want to go holistic, and I love that. A lot of some, not infrequently, I hear, Dr. Shealy, is this what you're getting as well? Is that folks come to us because they want to get off medicines, drugs, they don't want the invasive or unnecessary things, and they want to get healthy and naturally. All
of the above.
All of the above. So but there is also another category of folks that I personally feel, the need to to talk about this stuff is that people who refuse to do anything with conventional, and that's wrong. That's wrong. Again, I'm wearing a white coat, not for any other reason, but to make a point, or so that I wish Dr. Shealy is still an MD. I am still, I'm an MD. Rachel is becoming. Well, you're going to be a doctor very soon. Yes,
not the same. Not MD.
Well, doctor is a doctor, So there is good in acute medicine. There is good in diagnosis. If we don't know what you're dealing with, it's literally shooting in the dark. You may hit it or you may miss it, but if you know where you're going, at least you know where the markers are. So, anyhow, we do have a little bit more time. I'm not sure how much.
About 4 minutes.
About 4 minutes. So, just again, a quick summary on the whole concept. Why do people succeed and why do people fail? What is the foundation? And this is what we talked about. We talked about lifestyle. So let's summarize the key essentials here for. Ladies first.
Well, I mean, I think the key essential is you have to build the foundation, but some people need help knowing how to build a foundation because not everyone's handed that tool in life. And so there's a learning process, and having someone that can guide you through that piece so you can then go on to continue having a healthy lifestyle with your strong, solid foundation. It's just really important.
And Rachel, once again, people can find you at?
So if they just call the clinic, it's 417-351-5221. I will say kind of maybe just a quick recap for the study, Metabolic Syndrome, the 5 things that Dr. Sorin talked about. You have to have 3 of them. So that would either be high blood pressure, high LDL, low HDL, waist circumference. I don't know if we talked about that or not. So if you're a woman, 35 inches or more. If you're a male, 40 inches or more. And then you need to have some kind of blood sugar dysregulation. So that might be high fasting insulin. It might be high hemoglobin A1C. Just something that says your blood sugar is not doing what it's supposed to.
Yep. And the end goal of the study is so that we're aiming for 100% success, aren't we?
Oh, I mean, always. But my hope is at the end of the study, I have given you the tools, and that's part of the foundation. So you know how to make choices and do things on your own.
Wonderful. Dr. Shealy, you are doing incredibly well. What advice would you give to anyone out there, health-wise, but as well as anything life-wise?
Stick with it.
Yes.
Commitment. Yes.
Commitment.
Yeah.
And keep it real. What I'll say is I'm seeing a lot of folks back and forth. In other words, they do well, then they setback, so on and so forth. And this
and they need to know
yeah.
when they get the setback, don't give up.
Exactly.
Keep going. Commitment, right?
That is your driver. That is your stability, so that you can figure out what else you need to do. You can learn from your mistakes, about how you can make yourself stronger. And that's the key.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One more minute. All right. Let's say hello to the folks on the internet or web. Any questions? And of course, we may not have quite enough time for a telephone question, but
Any question on the internet is how ideas for weight loss.
Ideas for weight loss. Rachel, take it away.
Well, do you want the I mean, again, it always goes back to the fundamentals and breaking it down super easy. So it kind of depends on where you are. Are you drinking enough water every day? About half of your body weight, so in ounces. That's just one really easy. Well, I say easy. I'm married to a man who does not like to drink water. So maybe it's not that easy, but it's a good place to start.
And avoid
the processed sugar and the process. Yeah, any kind of processed carbohydrates. Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, absolutely. But sometimes we have to start with the one thing and then we get to the next thing and the next thing. But absolutely, 100%.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that's any other questions or thoughts?
We're about to finish on the radio.
And we're about to finish on the radio. And do we have anything else?
Nope.
All right. Great.
Okay. All right.
Well, we'll see you next week. Happy Wellness Wednesday today. And moving on, we're gonna have another great topic. And Rachel, would you be willing to come back again?
If you guys want me.
Please. All right.
Yes.
Thanks, Dr. Shealy.
And by the way, for the audience, feel free to send your feedback and what you'd like to hear from us, the concepts, discussions, topics, and especially online, and so what would you like to hear? Who do you want to see? Do you want to see Rachel? Do you want to see more of a, call us. And most important thing, I did want to say the one thing, holism. You are holy. You are sacred. You are worth it. And everything is possible. Take care.
Okay. We're clear from radio.
We are. Mm-hmm.
All right. And you want to continue on Facebook?
Maybe, I think we've said everything we had to say for the night, didn't we?
Yes.
Well, folks, have a wonderful day. Take care.